Okay, in frame 15, we see the response back from the server, which is the whole web page itself. Now, within the web page, there is a picture. There's a picture. If you look at if you go back to the previous slides, you will find that there is a slash, there's a ing tag, which means that it's going to display a picture. And the browser at this point of time says that, oh, okay, I need to get the picture itself. So it sends a separate request for the picture. Because the picture is a separate resources from the HTML pages itself. Right? So frame 16, on frame 16 is the request for the sunset sm.jpg. Right? So again, we see the request from the browser. Again, the get request. Okay, and then we have the same series of header information that the browser tells the server. And again, the Wireshark has been very kind to tell us the full request line. The full request line is http://www.microsoft.com/sunsetsm.jpg. Now, if you take this URL, put it into the browser, you actually retrieve only the picture itself, not the page, not the HTML page, only the picture itself. And it also tells us that within this string, there are 3 requests. We already seen the first request. The first request is the request for the HTML page. So this is the second request. The second request is for one of the resources within the HTML page. And it also tells you the previous request is in frame 13. And the response for this request, the 16 request, is in frame 56. You can see that there's a big chunk, right? And then the next request, the third request, is in frame 59, right? So let's take a look at how the server responds. Now the server response first in page is in frame 17. Right? The server response, and the first part of the response is in text. Okay, it's easier to view it over on the left hand side. It says HTTP OK, and then the same server. This whole thing is exactly the same as what we see in the HTML page. And starting from here, it tells you that, oh, okay, this is a JPEG file, right? I'm receiving a JPEG file. And currently on this frame, on this frame 17, okay, the payload is only 7300 byte. Right? You can see that the whole thing is 7356. The 56 is the header file, the header information, like the start, the source address, destination address, source port, etc., etc. So that takes up 56 byte. The payload itself is 7300 bytes. Okay, but this is not the full picture. You only have the first few lines of the JPEG file, right? So the reassemble file is in frame 56. So you can see that all these are not HTTP. All these are TCP. Although it's all, again, these are just fragment of a request. So individually, you cannot identify what it is. You must combine them together before you can see it, right? And how Wireshark differentiated is on the top list of packets, it just basically shows you these are how many packets that's been used, and these are the size that's been used, okay? And these are all just TCP, right? So you need to basically identify the packets that is deemed as HTTP, and those are the packets that already have it reassembled, right? So this is a point of note. So again, if you look at the next frame, so I'm looking at frame 18, these are just jumbles of bytes and bits, right? You can't really make out of it. It is actually part of the picture, right? But you can't display it because it's not the full picture. If you take this part and try to render it on any picture image viewer, it will fail because it's not the full image. It lacks a lot of data. Right? Now, let's look at frame 56. This is the frame that has been identified, okay, as the result, okay, and this frame, okay, the file it clearly identify that the request, this is the request, and it will tells you that this is a JPEG file, and the total size of the file is 139184. And this 139184 is reassembled from a series of frames. Okay, series of frames. Now there are many ways you can take a look at this image itself. Now obviously you can look at it at the web page, but from Wireshark, you could actually export the packet bytes. We export the packet bytes, okay, from the from packet 56, because this is the packet that has all the information. Okay, this packet is the one that combines everything, right? When you export out this packet, okay, you will be able to see the image itself. So I'm going to just try to export this packet. I'm going to save it as picture. Okay, I'm going to save it as picture. And you find that the picture is what we call a bin file. It will be saved as a bin file. Okay, and when I rename the extension from bin to JPG, okay, so bin you'll find that it is, my Mac doesn't recognize it. It just treat it as a binary piece of data. Okay? But the moment I change the extension, okay, it will actually be the picture itself, right? It will actually display out the picture. Right? So very, very convenient for Wireshark. You can use any data that it can be found on the network can be exported. Right now, that is why I say in previously that a packet capture file is a security sensitive. It's a security risk. Right. Imagine I run this packet capture on my network, and somebody is sending some email messages, somebody is accessing some sensitive data, and this data happen to be in the clear on the network. I can extract it out. I could extract out not just picture, I can extract out Word documents, PowerPoint, Excel, and whatnot. Right? And therefore, it is very, very important that you keep this in mind. Network is a very sensitive resources that you need to protect, right? And adversary will come in. The first point of entry is via the network. And if they manage to put in a sniffer on the network, then everything is at their mercy. Right? Anything that you transmit can be seen by whoever is sniffing. Right? That's why it's of paramount important that you able to you should encrypt all the transaction, all the data that you send on the network, either through the use of the secure protocol such as HTTPS, or secure file transfer, or use of VPN, a virtual private network, to protect your channel of communication. So all these are extremely important. Now, again, uh, by using all this protocol, this secure protocol, doesn't mean that it's absolutely secure, because you still need to protect the key, you still need to protect the password. Uh, so all this are important consideration as a cybersecurity uh, practitioner, right? You need to know what is at risk. You need to know how to protect it. You need to know how are the weak points that can be exploited. I encourage you to go to the internet to search for all these other materials. These are extra learning for you, and it will be very useful for you to build up the knowledge of security. Okay, um, if you are very interested, if you're interested into exploring this field. Now,